Apple Inc. And I don't mean the fruit, I mean the phone company. Why is Apple so significant? Because they led a new revolution, a technological revolution, by bringing us the smartphone revelation. Do you understand? Without Apple, we wouldn't have smartphones today. Well, except for Samsung, of course. Do you get it? And Samsung also has the iPod, you know? So today, we might... Of course, it would naturally turn into something else. The apple of placenta extract or health supplements. Do you want that? Imagine we would become another kind of APP. Of course, we're not making phones, we're selling this, launching a supplement that's the equivalent of Apple. Would you want that? We are capable of doing it because we already have the technological platform and protection, and we have the technological potential. So now it's just a matter of how we develop this so-called path. So if today, besides liking to use this product, aside from the health benefits it brings you, on the day you achieve good health, what's even more important is that this product not only brings you health, but can also bring you future wealth. Just think, if today you were Apple, yes, Apple. I don't know how many decades it's been now. If you were Apple, if you were Steve Jobs, do you know who Steve Jobs is? Steve's job. What's his name in French? Jobs. You know, Steve Jobs. If you had started working hard together with him back then, what do you think about Apple? Where would you be today? How much do you think you'd be worth now? If you were one of Steve Jobs' pioneering partners, his early partners, how much do you think you'd be worth today? It would definitely be in the millions or tens of millions. You know what I mean? So today, I hope you can also look at this product from a wealth perspective. Not only can it bring you health, but it can also bring you wealth. So, as I just mentioned a moment ago, this innovative product has the remarkable ability to efficiently transport beneficial nutrients in, while simultaneously moving harmful waste products out of the system. Extra things are expelled, and the good things, that is detoxification, are kept in. So this placenta has the ability to detoxify. Therefore, our product also has the ability to help us go through a detoxification process. Even though we no longer have the structure of a placenta, it still contains certain nutrients that can help us detoxify. Do you understand what I mean? So, besides providing us with regenerative and stem cell nutrients, this product also gives us nutrients for regeneration, and even more importantly, it enhances our detoxification ability, giving us the capacity to detoxify. This is something we have seen before at this center. You see, the blood of the mother and the blood of the fetus do not exchange directly. They only exchange nutrients. So from that time, we had already started to understand this. This absorption happens within ourselves, not through the mouth, but through our navel. What does the navel have? The umbilical cord, right? The umbilical cord connects to our mother's blood vessels. The mother's placenta over there allows us to absorb nutrients. For those 9 months, every day, we are absorbing the nutrients from stem cells. So during that time, our organs are gradually forming and slowly developing. Okay, there's another very important point. I want you to have a concept, and this is also why I'm telling you that our product is a high-tech product, something that other placenta-based companies don't have. Listen carefully. Very good. I've already visited China a few times, and this is my second time in Malaysia talking with you. So you are truly fortunate people. Malaysia as a whole, is Malaysia big? This is the second time you're hearing me speak in all of Malaysia, so you are truly, truly fortunate to have this opportunity. Because this is the second time you're hearing me give this talk. Well, it's not really a class, it's actually a very important highlight of this product. Other companies won't tell you about this, only our company is doing this. You need to know that our bodies all contain what's called DNA. Do you all understand what DNA is? Do you know about genes? Where does our DNA come from? It comes from our father and mother, right? Both our father and mother each give us half, isn't that so? So what our father passes down to us is called inheritance. Therefore, DNA contains both good and bad traits, doesn't it? So if you inherit bad genes, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have bad genes. But if you inherit good genes, then congratulations, right? So is inheritance something you can choose? No, you can't choose your father and mother. You can't. Your parents are simply given to you. That's just how it is. So sometimes, if you're unlucky or unfortunate, and both your mother and father have hereditary diseases, you understand? Then you might also inherit some bad genes. So does that mean if you inherit bad genes, it's all over for you? Is that really the case? No, because genes are only one part of what determines our health. The outcome doesn't depend only on what you're born with. What's even more important is to look at our circumstances. It also depends on what happens after you're born. Do you understand? Xiantian means the conditions you are born with. What we're born with is called exiantian. So sometimes some people are born with very good health, meaning they have very good genes, while others don't have such good genes. But don't get discouraged and don't get too happy either. Don't get discouraged and don't get too happy. Why is that? Because there's also the influence of what happens after birth. What does that mean? After birth refers to the environment you grow up in, the bigger environment around you. Let me put it simply. In this big environment, you interact with it, right? For example, today, did you breathe? Did you drink water? Did you eat? Did you have food? Yes, so every day you're interacting with your environment, right? Every day there are external things entering your body, right? Yes, so everything you take in each day will have an effect. It all affects how your body feels and functions. It's just like today. Let me tell you, have you all seen the familiar home screen of an Apple iPhone, right? You know those little square-shaped apps, right? Now, if today these specific apps were to change, take a look at the Elsa app on the phone, for example. If you don't tap on it, it doesn't get activated, right? If you don't tap it, it just stays there. It's just there for you to see. But if you don't do anything with it, it won't start up, right? You have to activate it for it to work, right? Otherwise, the phone is useless to you. Isn't that exactly right? In much the same way, when we look deep into our own genes, it functions in just that specific manner. If you don't manually activate the device, it will remain completely silent. But what exactly does that silence mean for you? Silent means calm, right? It's like a volcano. Sometimes it doesn't erupt for 10 or 20 years, right? But once it erupts, it's activated, isn't it? So it's not what we call line, it's silent. Silent means it's there as evidence, but it's inactivated. It can be switched on or off. But is it on or off? Is it open or closed? Thank you. At least I have one listener. I thought I was talking to a grave. Sigh. Do you think they're on or off? If we don't activate our genes, they remain off. Do you understand? But why does it get activated? It depends on what we absorb today, what things we take in. Actually, didn't we just talk about this? Don't we eat every day, right? Every time you eat, you have to digest it, right? Once it's digested, it becomes nutrients, doesn't it? So what do you think about those nutrients? No, there's nothing that's useless unless it's not processed well. Hey, those nutrients are useful to you, right? Sometimes you even need more nutrients so that I can have energy, right? Those nutrients are for me. But this is such a superficial way of thinking. Nobody should be that superficial. Every nutrient actually has many other functions in your body, right? Because it can reach your genes, just like those apps. Our bodies have many apps, which are our DNA. When it matches the right gene or the right app, it will light up. We call this switch on. What does switch on mean? It means to turn on, to activate. This concept of activation, no one else will tell you about it, only I will, okay? So why is it that in our bodies, there are so many genes that are always or for a very long time switched off? How do you switch them on? It's about stem cells. Oh, I almost said it wrong. Stem cells. Stem cells. My Mandarin isn't very good. I'm talking about the genes of stem cells. We have stem cell genes. The situation you encounter is that they help to switch this on or off. But if it's switched off, is that useful to you? Can it bring you regeneration? No, it can't. It's just like there are many things, good or bad, for example, cancer. Do you know about cancer genes? Cancer, every one of us has cancer genes. So do you think you should turn them on or off at will? Many people, their fate isn't good. They can't avoid it because their parents passed down a lot. A lot of it is inherited. Cancer genes, so you inherit them too. But some people might inherit 1,000 cancer-related genes, while others only inherit 10 cancer genes. Now, if you could choose your parents, let's say you had the choice, would you pick parents who give you 1,000 cancer genes or just 10 cancer genes? Of course, everyone would want to have no cancer genes at all, right? That would mean your parents are the number one parents. Well, that's impossible. There will always be some. But the question is, do you want 1,000 or just 10? You can't always choose to have only 10, right? Of course. But some mothers don't have a choice in this if that's the case. What if our parents give us 1,000 cancer genes? Are you saying, oh no, with 1,000 cancer genes, you're doomed. You're definitely doomed, right? Are you really doomed? No, you're not. Why is that? Because Dr. Lin has said, you have the right to change that. You can always turn them off. So listen carefully. If you have 1,000 cancer genes, but 995 of them are switched off and only 5 are switched on, compared to someone who has 10 cancer genes and all 10 are switched on, then you're actually better off than that person. Because you only have 5 switched on, while they have all 10 switched on. So you're actually better off than that person. Do you understand what I'm saying? So today, your parents didn't have a choice. But you do. You have the choice. You can choose to turn off those genes we don't want. Just switch them off. Do you want to? If you say turn them off, then they'll be turned off. I really like you all. You're all very good students. Eat nutritious food. When the teacher says to eat nutritious food, it's just like I mentioned earlier. It's as if every door has a special key. Didn't I just tell you about that? You need to have it. That's right. It has to be the key and the lock. The key and the lock. You need the right one. Not just anyone can open it. You can't just open it randomly because they have different structures. It's just like a key. Different locks need different keys. So you need to know the right key. That key is, well, this key, I'm not telling you to eat a key. I'm just using it as a metaphor, as an analogy. Like, for example, the nutrient. Think of it as a key. Treat that nutrient as a key. Okay. So the more keys you eat, the better, the better. Why? Because you can open. If you have the right key, you can open it. Don't try to open those. As for the key to cancer, if you remove it, then you won't be eating those cancer-causing things. For example, if you eat those supercharged barbecues, really burnt foods, or if you do some really weird things. Of course, smoking, I'm not saying that smoking will definitely cause it, but people who smoke really dislike me for saying this. If it really is because of smoking, then you will definitely have more carcinogens in your body, that's for sure. I'm not here to say that you can't smoke. By all means, you can smoke, but you need to know that when you smoke, you're also absorbing it. Carcinogens are basically like giving yourself the medicine for cancer. But some people say, hey, I've been smoking for over 30 years and I don't have cancer. Well, you're just lucky. You're lucky because all the keys you took didn't match any locks. You have a lot of keys, but you have very few locks, you know? You have very few of those locks, so you didn't get it. But some people are really unlucky. Some people live to be 100, and they've never smoked a day in their lives. But then there's someone who smokes just once and dies because on the very day they smoked, all the keys happened to fit. Those were all cancer keys, and they had a lot of locks. So that person ends up getting cancer, you see? That's why cancer is such a hard thing to talk about.